Hey guys, what's going on? It's Tyson here, and today's video is all about foam rolling. So foam rolling is great for recovery on your days off. It's great for getting yourself mobile before a workout or after a workout. I actually prefer foam rolling as opposed to doing stretching before or after a workout because it just really feels to open me up more. So sit back and watch the video. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them down below. So the first thing I like to do when foam rolling is just to really open up that spine. So as you can see here, I'm laying across the foam roller lengthways. I've got my arms spread and I'm kind of just opening up everything. I'm just going to lay there, let gravity do its work, and just really get like the whole body just mobile and open up. And I might lay here between 15, 20 seconds, maybe longer, maybe a minute 30, depending on how tight that area feels and how I feel like I need to lay there, however long I feel like I need to lay there for. So for everyone it's going to be different. You're going to feel your muscles just relaxing, and once you're done there, then you can start moving on to the actual foam rolling. So this is me going to be rolling out my lower back. As you can see, I've got my hands behind my head and I'm just rolling on that lower back. I'm moving side to side, putting more pressure on either the left or the right, as you can see when I'm twisting, just to see is there any tight points, is there anything I need to get to, and is it hurting. After I've done that, you're going to start moving slowly up to the upper back to really start hitting up your shoulder blades, all that area that gets really tight, especially from people who are sitting down. And then I'm opening up my arms. This is different type of method you can actually use. So I've got my arms open nice and wide, hitting different areas, and it's just all these different ways to actually do the foam rolling, crossing my arms. Now this is the most painful bit because I can really hit those rhomboids and shoulder blades, and it's just like it just really gets in there, especially with the foam roller I'm using. It's more hard than most of them, so I'm just really trying to get nice and deep. As you can see, I've got some pretty bad pain faces going on, and it's just like I can just hit that point. Once I find somewhere tight, I'm just going to stay on it. And then I'm moving over to my lats. So I've got my arm out, kind of, you can see me. This is pretty painful area for me because it gets so tight. And a lot of you people who do a lot of pulling movements, and especially sitting in an office, you're going to feel this area is just going to be a killer. So as you can see, I'm pulling these ridiculous faces, and once I find a tight spot, I'm just going to sit there and I'm just going to hit it. And then I'm going to roll over to the other side and do the same type of thing. And this is where the body weight comes in, because you can manipulate whether you want to push harder or whether you want to push a little bit lighter, because some people aren't going to be able to tolerate as much as I'm tolerating. I generally like to roll for about 15 to 20 rolls on each side, but if there's somewhere tight, I'll spend as much time as I need to actually on that spot. So I always like to start with the upper body first, and then I'll move down to my glutes. So I kind of like to start at the top, and then I work all the way down to the bottom. So with the glutes, as you can see, I've got my left leg crossed over my right leg, and I'm really leaning into that left glute, because when you've crossed that leg over, you've tightened up the glute a little bit, so you can get a little bit further in there. And then I'm just kind of enjoying myself there, having a fat old time. But you can see if I want more pressure, I can put more pressure on that side. And then I'm going to lengthen out the glute, right? And I'm using that right leg just to hold myself balanced with my hands. And I'm just going to roll it up and down, because you can hit the muscle from so many different angles. So I've got it tight, then I've got it loose, and now I'm going to be doing the other side. And it's just using that body weight again. So I can lean further to the right if I want, or I can lean a little bit further away, and I can use that hand and leg to actually push the weight off if it's getting too hard. And this all depends on how much tolerance you're going to have, guys, like I'm saying, because a lot of people aren't going to be able to do this at first. So what I suggest is getting yourself a lighter foam roller, ones without the spikes, just to ease yourself into it. Otherwise, you're just not going to be able to tolerate it, and it's going to be more painful than actually doing than not doing the foam rolling. So you're going to get less benefit if you use a harder foam roller. So after the glutes, you can start hitting your hamstrings. Now, like I said, a lot of people who are sitting down during the day, this is going to be a killer. Like, you're going to feel so many tight spots on there. And as you can see, I've got one leg up on the foam roll at the moment because I can tolerate this, and I've just got that other leg being able to try and manipulate the weight. But what you can do if you want to make it a little bit easier is place both legs over the foam roller at the same time, and that's going to put a little bit less pressure on there. So I actually don't have the video of me doing both of my legs, but as you can see, I'm putting the roller on one side, rolling the leg out, and then I'll slide it over to my other leg and do the other side. So the way I like to do this is, after I've done the hamstrings, I'll then jump onto my right side and my left side and do my IT bands and hips. So at first I'll just hit that hip joint and really try and get in there, because that's a really tight spot for me. So I'll roll it about 15 to 20 times, maybe 30, or I might even just sit on it for a little bit, depending on how tight it feels. And then after the hip, I'm going to move to the IT band, and this is going to be extremely tight for most people. And rightfully so, like, your IT band does need to be tight, but so you're never ever going to get complete tightness out of it, but this is just going to kill people. And as you can see, I've got both legs crossed over at first, and that's a lot of weight. So then I took off a little bit, so I'm using that left leg to manipulate the weight to not put as much pressure, because this is one of the hard, like, you are going to feel so much pain here, so you're really going to need to take it easy. But just like I said, 15 to 20, you can do the whole leg at a time, that whole RT band, or you can have a rest and just do sections at a time. It's all just going to depend on how much pain you're going to be able to tolerate. So I'm manipulating the weight there a little bit, so it's not as much. Feels a little bit better, but as you can see, I'm still pulling some weird pain points there. And yes, the thing is, these foam rolling activities are going to look a little weird, you know, like, that's just the way it is. You can't do anything about it, but, you know, like, if you're not going to do it because it looks weird, well, you're going to miss out on the benefits. So you can't see my face here much, but I am pulling some pretty mean faces, just because it's one of my favorite areas to hit, but it's also extremely painful. So you guys don't have to stick to 20 to 30 either. You could go for, 2 to 3 minutes if it's that painful, because the more you do it, the more beneficial it's going to be for yourself. And see, as you can see, just before I stopped on that little area, just because I was like, okay, this is where I need to kind of break up the tissue. So stop and chill on an area for 20 seconds, and then do little rolls to get it out. So this is where things start getting a little weird, okay? So it's not just practicing the foam rolling, it can be practice for other things too, if you catch my drift, you know? But yeah, so like I said, some of these exercises are going to look weird, and people are probably going to laugh at you, but at the end of the day, you're going to be feeling a lot better. As you can see, I give you a good thumbs up there saying it's going all good. So when I'm rolling out my quad muscles though, the thing is, when it's with this, as you can see, again, manipulating the weight, but also you can roll like forwards and back, rolling from side to side. So you can hit the very front of your quad. As you can see, going free for all here, so just enjoying it. But like I'm saying, you can roll the front of your quads like I'm hitting now, and then later on in the video, I'm actually turning to the left and to the right, because I'm hitting the outer quad, I'm hitting the inner quad. I'm just really trying to get all areas. And again, if you find a tight spot, make sure to stop there for a second. Make sure to just really try and break up that tissue, and then let it slowly roll it out. So what I like to do is I'll move it from side to side and then in the middle, as you can see here, like I'm saying. So I'm really on that outer quad now, and then I'm going to roll my leg inwards a little bit, hitting the front quad, and then I'm going to roll it towards the other side and just hit the inner quad, because there's always going to be different tight spots. You're not going to be, and it might be different times, like different times you do foam rolling is going to be different spots, so it's always good to try and hit it from all different types of angles. And you get practice, you know what I'm saying? This is the most awkward one. another good position there. You don't want to make eye contact with the ground or with anybody, so you kind of just do your own thing, which is also while I'm in here instead of just out there. It's rolling my adductors, okay? So for some people, this probably won't be as tight. For me, I get extremely tight there just because I have weak adductors, and every time I do exercise, it just really pulls on them. So it's going to be hard for you to try and hit this muscle because of the angle it's on, and you're probably going to go, well, like, how the hell am I going to do this? So you really want to have that leg facing inwards and just rolling that inner adductor. It's probably the worst move out of all of them, this and rolling the quads, just the way it looks. But it depends. If you're tight there, it's going to feel a lot better. As you can see, I'm just kind of making, like, casually just doing it. No eye contact. Yeah. But like I'm saying, it's going to be more beneficial for you, even though it looks so bad. Plus, you can make eye contact with people. You're like, yeah, that's right, that's what I'm doing. And this last area I'm rolling out is just the calf muscles. Now, this is going to be a pain in the ass for some people, because it's going to put a lot of pressure on your shoulders when you're trying to hold yourself up. So as you can see here, I'm rotating on the calf muscle again, hitting the inner, outer, and flat on the calf muscle. But if you can't do this, you're just going to have to stretch instead, because the way I'm trying to hold myself off the ground, to put that pressure on the calf muscle, it's extremely hard. And some people just aren't going to be able to hold themselves up, which is fine. You can just stretch instead. But once you work on this and you start rolling your calf muscles, this is most likely going to be extremely tight area for people. And especially when it comes to squats, what I suggest is hitting this first, hitting your calves and your hamstrings, because it's really going to help open everything up, and that's probably the tightness you're getting, as opposed to people saying, oh, you've got tight hamstrings. It might not be your hamstrings, it might actually be your calf muscles. So this is a quick video, guys. It's about 11 minutes, but what you're seeing is what you can do on your days off, what you can do before a workout, or just hitting the body part you've worked after the day. So if I've done a legs day, I'll do the whole lower body. And I'm just going to get back into that position at the end, just to open everything up again. So I hope that was helpful, guys. Just make sure you can do it before a workout or after a workout, or do a full body on your day off. It doesn't really matter, but the more you do it, the more benefits you're going to have. So I hope it was informative. If you liked it, please make sure to like and subscribe, and please share this with your friends so I can help them out too. So until next time, have a good one.